whatever time you're watching this. My name is Abingdon. Welcome to the Abingdon Co channel. This is where we go on adventures with women in non-traditional industries. We also talk about watches, which is what we do when we are live. And I'm coming to you live from Las Vegas at the Abingdon Co headquarters in downtown in the Arts District. So I appreciate you joining us today. I am going to go over one of our original watches, and I have been looking forward to this video for a long time because this is my favorite watch. And I know I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I do. And so the Jackie in Seaplane Green, which is one of the color choices that Jackie came out with back in 2007, has been on my wrist pretty much every day for the last 15 years. And it's the same one. It's one of the original prototypes. I'm going to show you it. I have it here, and I cannot wait to talk to you about how this watch came about, what we've done to improve it over the years, because we did make a major change to the watch to make it better than ever. I'd say probably about 4 years ago or so. And so I'm going to show you everything about this watch. I'm also going to answer a few questions. We've had some questions on social media about the watch, so I want to go over some of those with you as well. And if you do have any questions, then by all means, please do throw it in the comment section below, and we'll get to your questions hopefully during the live. If not, I'll definitely answer them in the comments section after the video is published, and happy to help in any way I can. Of course, you can always go to our website too. You can always give us a call. We are actually a company that you can call and somebody will answer. So I know that kind of shocked somebody. I want to say it was like maybe 2 or 3 months ago when you called the phone number on our website and somebody picked up and said, "Hi, you've reached the Abingdon Company. How can I help you?" It wasn't routed to a some type of answering service. The phone calls are answered from here in Las Vegas. So should you ever have a question, a concern about an order or anything like that, by all means, give us a call. We will answer the phone as long as it's between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Pretty much every day, 7 days a week. So we're happy to help. And but there's one thing that we do always get right around the time change, which is, you fall back, spring forward when you set your time an hour ahead or an hour before. And we often get crew members that call and just say, "Hey, I've got a Marina, I've got an Amelia, I've got this and that," and they'll call and we'll help them over the phone in resetting their watch. So there is also that. And I think that's pretty much where I'm going to leave you with that. So yeah, give us a call. We love talking to you. All right, so let's delve into the Jackie. So the Jackie, you can go MK, go MK. So I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty here and show you some of the details. But the Jackie is one of our original styles, and this watch is stunning. It is, like I said, my favorite watch, and I think it's a combination of the fact that it is an aviation watch. So it's got all of the necessary equipment that you would need when you fly an airplane, from your flight computer to military time to a stopwatch, but then it's beautifully feminine. And I'll go over some of the details that we did to make it both a strong and feminine watch. Because really, when I started this company, there was nothing out there that had the combination of an aviation style watch that I could use when I fly and the feminine qualities of just a nice ladies watch. So what I've done here, I've got the old style of Jackie, and then I've got the brand new style of Jackie, and with a couple different interchangeable bands. And I'm also wearing, and they're virtually indestructible. No, I'm just kidding. But they can take blows, which is totally fine. I am wearing the Jackie Pink, and this is also a Jackie Pink. So I wanted to show, and I'll go over some of the interchangeability with the straps so that you can see a different look on your watch. And we'll go over that in a second. But let me start off with the original style Jackie. So the original style Jackie came in a dreamy white, sunset pink, and a seaplane green. This is the watch. This is the 15-year-old original prototype watch that I still wear and I still love. I often test out different 20mm bands that I want to introduce to the company with this watch. So if you see me on, any photo or on social, or if ever we're at an event or anything and you see me wearing this watch with a different strap, it's probably a strap that I'm testing out. But this watch has been through the ringer. I have done everything from left it in a pocket and it went through a washing machine cycle to I've dropped it on the tile floor of my bathroom, and I did dislodge one of the hour markings off of the dial, got it fixed. I do not recommend dropping watches on very hard surfaces from above 4 feet. That will most likely damage your watch. But the good thing about watches is everything is fixable. So there's not gremlins hiding inside. You don't have anything that is just supernatural about a watch working or not working. It's a mechanical piece of equipment, and with the right service, it can be 100% rebuilt, and we have done that with watches. So with some crew members who are extraordinarily tough on them. So please do know that if you call and you have a repair or anything like that, and you say, I don't know, it just stopped working, we're gonna figure it out, because there's probably going to be some type of giveaway, like maybe you've got a hard dent on the side and that indicated a drop, which is what happened with me, or you've got rust on the inside, which meant probably that a crown or a button came, maybe it came loose or it was out and you got water inside. I mean, we can really figure these out if we just open them up and take a look. But the good news is when you go through us for any type of repair, we do try to keep all the prices at cost for you for all the parts, because we have them here in-house. So it's really easy to do that. And then all you're just doing is paying our watchmaker. So we keep our repairs very, very low, and we try to keep them within 30 days. So just a little plug for our repair service, because we do a lot of repairs here, because our customers are badass. You guys are in the military, you guys are scuba diving and flying airplanes and just being overall general awesome badass people. So that's something. So the old style versus the new style. I'm going to start with the outside of the watch, and then I'm going to work my way in. So the first major, Aaron, I'll actually take off this watch. The first major difference that you're going to notice is the band. So the band was changed. This is what's called a Rolex style band. They are often found on Rolexes, where it's the two kind of thinner link styles and then a thicker one in the center. We have a combination of brushed and polished, and what we did was we changed it to our signature Chevron style band. The Chevron, the reason why we use this is because it does fit in almost every industry that we cater towards. Chevrons are found in aviation, they're found in scuba diving, they're found in the military, they're found in automotive industries. They're kind of found in a lot of STEAM industries. So the Chevron style band was something that we designed back in 2014, released it for the first time on the Catherine style, and now it's the band that we use on all of our watches. And the biggest thing that I like about the Chevron is the fact that you can take off the strap and not have any tools. And I know I've gone over this before in other videos, but it's constantly one of my favorite features of custom building a band. We are the only watch company that uses this type of strap, and it's just fantastic. So with the old style, because this is a traditional Rolex style or oyster style band, did I say it was a Rolex or an oyster?
Rolex.
I said it was a Rolex. It's an oyster band found on Rolexes, so I made that mistake. But with these, you have a traditional pin, and here what I'll do is I'll just undo it at the buckle so you can see that this style has to be removed with either like pointy tweezers like this or some type of pointy tool that you would need to remove the band here in order to get another strap on. So a little bit different. It's not gonna be that hard, but, and I've linked videos on how to change bands with other tools, even including an earring. So it's totally doable. It's not that crazy difficult. But if you just don't need to bring a tool, then you can just use a Chevron band and change it out. So what I've done here is gosh, do you like that wrist tan? You know it's summer when the wrist tan is strong. So what I've done here is I have a Jackie in Sunset Pink, Jackie in Sunset Pink. This one had the metal band, this one has the leather, and you can see on the back side that the little, I'm blanking on it, but it's just like this little easy release clasp that you can use to take off a leather band. It's the same deal with the metals. There's just two that you pinch together, and this, you'll always find with any of our straps, are always labeled 12 and 6. There is one watch out there that I really, really like, and I haven't done this yet with my Jackie, but if you follow Fly Alyssa on Instagram, she wears a Jackie Sunset Pink with a silicone strap. And I know one of the questions that we were recently asked about the Jackie is, can I have this on a boat? Will it be okay in water? And all that. And I'll go over the water resistance, which is perfectly fine on a boat. And water resistance is 165 feet. So you're totally fine if you go swimming, if you go surfing, however. But because of boats and airplanes, honestly, having paint, having hard surfaces, things like that, I probably wouldn't recommend having a leather or a metal strap. I'd recommend the silicone strap, like what Fly Alyssa does. So with her, she just put a 20mm silicone strap on her Sunset Pink watch. And if you look at her Instagram, you'll see pictures of her wearing her watch, and you'll see what it looks like with the silicone strap. I think it looks amazing. She absolutely loves it, and that's what she's kept on it now for several months. I've seen her have that for several months. So starting on the outside, we did the strap here. I'm gonna put that back on. The case and the strap is a 316L stainless steel. 316L just means hypoallergenic, and it's just got a very, very low nickel content. So if you do have allergies, you don't want to get watches that are alloy or made of, have any alloys in them. You definitely want to go with a 316L steel or something that is very hypoallergenic. Also, the buttons and the crowns, the way you know a difference between a crown and a button is crowns will have ridges on them, buttons will be smooth. That's pretty standard across any watch. Some people will have design features in their buttons or their crowns, but if you just wanted a quick glance, if I'm referring to a button, I'm referring to something that's smooth. If I'm referring to a crown, then it looks more like a crown on the side. So we've got two crowns, and this is one of the biggest differences between the old style Jackie and the new style is where I put the flight computer crown. So we moved it to the 6 o'clock position from the 8 o'clock position. Why did we do that? Because we had a ton of crew members say, hey, I wear my watch on my right hand, or I don't wear it, I have to reach across the watch to use this crown for the flight computer. Is there any way that you can move the crown over to the other side? And we thought, well, if we move it to the other side, it just creates the same problem. So why not we make it for people that are wearing their watch on either wrist, move it to the center. So that was a big change. Now, the reason why, and you'll find a lot of aviation watches that have flight computers on them will have them on the outer bezel. And what they'll do is they will try and turn the outer bezel. Well, that's all fine and dandy, except that over time, and especially if you're a pilot or if you're outdoors and you're swimming with this, or you're just doing whatever sweaty, dirty outdoor activity that you're doing, you're gonna end up with dust, dirt, skin cells, some of that grossness that you get over time when you wear a watch. So what we've done is we've just put it under the crystal. Now, I'm gonna show you on my watch how much more smooth it is for 15-year-old watches. If you have an aviation watch that has a flight computer that you're trying to rotate, I can almost guarantee that over 15 years, if you've been wearing it daily like I've been wearing this one, it's not going to rotate this smooth. So putting it under the crystal was a very deliberate choice because we wanted to make sure that you could use that flight computer for years. So definitely something to just kind of consider when you're looking at aviation watches. So the flight computer. I love the flight computer because not only do I use it for aviation things, time, speed, distance, fuel consumption, you can convert statute miles to nautical miles, all that fun stuff. It's a great backup to instruments if you are flying. But the thing I actually use this for the most, because I do a lot of internationally traveling when I go back to England and visit my family, is I will set up currency conversion. And all I have to do, because this is a ratio rule, and there's a video, I'll put it in the description below after the live is done today, where you can see how to convert currency with any aviation watch. And all I do is I'll set up British pounds to US dollars on the ratio rule before I land, and everything is set up. I don't have to change it at all. Super, super easy. And wherever I go, as long as I'm wearing my watch, I'll glance down, I'll know how much the food costs at the pub, I'll know how much the petrol costs at the fuel station, and I can just go about my day. It makes currency conversion so simple, and it works with any currency because this is just a ratio rule. So I'll make sure to put that video down below because it is one of my favorite features that a lot of people do not realize you can do on an aviation watch. So I think that's really cool. You can also do multiplication, division, and a bunch of other things too. And we have an entire series of videos that go over the different things that you can do with the flight computer rule. So, or flight computer, slide rule, E6B, all that stuff. It's all named the same thing. So there we go. So we've got that. Now everything is under a sapphire crystal. That's another change that we did from the original, which is we had a hardened mineral crystal with a anti-reflective coating under the inside. We still have that anti-reflective coating. However, this is now a sapphire crystal over a mineral. Now you can see, and I have not changed my crystal on my watch, but you can see that it's really not bad. The mineral hardened mineral crystal has been holding up fantastically. But a sapphire crystal, you are almost guaranteed. It is the strongest material that you can put on a watch in terms of crystals. So you're not going to find anything harder than a sapphire crystal. We wanted to make the upgrade. We didn't even really change or let anybody know, change the price or anything like that. I just saw a means to improve the watch, and so any Jackie watch that comes after 2015 is going to have a sapphire crystal. If you want to upgrade your crystal, just contact our repair department and you can send in your Jackie watch and we'll do a thorough cleaning on it and we can put a sapphire crystal on it, no problem. So we can do that for you. Thank you, Blake. This is a beautiful watch, isn't it? And I love that you love your Marina. I'm so excited that that's your first Abingdon watch, and I think it's just really cool. And this is, between the Marina and the Jackie, I just absolutely love the designs because it just has there's just this beautiful dichotomy of a stunning watch with a very functional purpose. And the Marina is the exact same way. So thank you, Blake. All right, so we've got the crystal, we've got the band, we've got the case, you have steel buttons and crowns, you've got a steel case back as well. That case back is a screw down case back, so it's just basically one giant screw. Now inside the case is your movement, it's your engine of the watch, and what we use and what we've always used, because it is the best movement that I have found, and we very rarely have any type of issues when it comes to this movement over the last 15 years, is the Japanese Miyota FS20 movement. It's also the movement that we use in the Catherine watch and we use in the new Jordan watch. So the FS20 is a multi-function 5-hand movement. It has your minute, your hour, your second, and then it has 2 subdials, one for military time and one for your stopwatch to count 60 minutes. So that is by far one of the most robust multi-function 5-hand movements out in the market, has been for a long time. I hope Miyota makes it forever and ever and ever, amen, because it's one of my favorite movements and I've never had any major issues with this particular movement. So we've got a 40 millimeter case. The movement, it's a 12.5 thick watch, millimeters thick watch. So it's also a very small movement, which is really nice. Because this is not necessarily a small watch. And I love the fact that it's just got that right size. I have a very tiny wrist, and I think this is an excellent size watch, probably the biggest. I said 40 millimeter, that is a lie. It's 41.5 millimeters, but this is probably the biggest size that I'm comfortable wearing that goes with my wrist and with my style. Some people, they love big watches. Some people love super tiny watches. It's 100% totally up to you. 41.5 millimeter is about the largest that I will go. And I'll show you, well, I'm wearing a brand new Jackie, so you can see that it does go right about just on the inside. And do you remember how big my wrist is? I know we've measured it before. I think it's like 25, 26, 25? No, it's smaller than that, isn't it?
It's tiny. It's
tiny.
It's like in inches, it's like 5 or 5 1/4.
5 1/4 inches?
Yeah.
So I have a super tiny wrist. And like I said, I wear this one all the time. Wendy, you just got yours and you're getting tons of compliments. That's awesome. I'm so glad. And I think, Wendy, you got the Jackie White, I believe. So fantastic, and welcome to the crew. Blake as well, welcome to the crew with your new Marina. You guys are awesome. So yes, so we've got the movement, we've got the crystal, we've got the case. Let's see what we're continuing to move in. So now the dial. So the dial is a genuine mother of pearl dial. It comes in 3 colors, and I'm gonna kind of move the old style out of the way here. So you've got sunset pink, you've got dreamy white, and then you've got seaplane green. And they're just very feminine, very classy. This is almost a subdued pearl that really enhances just the beauty of the watch. I mean, I think that having a pearl dial is an immediate way to feminize or bring just a luster and a beauty to a watch. And watches can be, in my opinion, they can be both masculine and feminine very easily if you just do the right changes, just the right tweaks. And that's one of the things I love about this is you have such a strong case. I mean, this isn't rounded edges or anything. You've got these hard edges on the side. You've got an abrupt stop at the lug. So some of the elements are very masculine, but that pearl and also the crystals, which I'm going to go over here in a second, just bring a well-roundedness, a balance to the strength and the beauty of the watch. So I think that's really, really beautiful. So yes, it's a genuine mother of pearl. Nothing's printed or anything. The crystals are Swarovski crystals. So we do source from Swarovski. We can also do this watch with real diamonds. Now, if you wanted real diamonds, it does take us some time to make it. You would have about 1.1 carat of diamonds. We use VVSI, but it is the smallest type. So we have the same suppliers that Cartier uses, and we will be able to custom build this watch with diamonds if you want. There's 64 stones around the bezel, and but if you wanted the one right off of our website, then it's going to be the Swarovski crystals, which I think is just absolutely beautiful. So you've got that. You have, let's see, on the watch, you've got the military time, you have the stopwatch. One thing to keep in mind, you've probably noticed this since I've been holding this watch up the whole time, is that the second hand has never moved. Now, that is a function of the Miyota FS20, and a lot of people are like, well, my watch is broken, the second hand isn't moving. The time still has been going, and I'm coming up on 30 minutes. I need to wrap this up, right? No, I'm just kidding. But we don't have that much left, I promise. And I know for those that are sticking around for the coupon, I will drop that in here in a moment. Also, it's only going to be good for 24 hours. So if you tuned into this YouTube video, then you definitely are going to be rewarded. But that secondhand will never move. Jonathan, you're asking, can it convert? Convert what? Maybe ask me something a little bit more specific and I'll see if I can answer that. But the start button on the top, it's start and stop, and then on the bottom, it's reset. So you've got start, and I'm not looking at the watch, but I trust that that second hand is moving, and then you hit the top one again, that's stop, and then you hit the reset, and it will reset all the way back around to 12. The other thing that you can do with this watch that not a lot of people understand or know that they can do is if you pull that crown out 2 clicks, which is like what you would use to just change your time, right? Keep it pulled out and then hit your start button, hit the top button. And what you can do is you can decide where you want that second hand. So if you can see, I'm gonna try and like keep the glare off, but if you can see, I am moving that second hand one by one, and I can reset it to any position on the watch, which I think is really unique, a function of the FS20 movement. And then once I push the crown back in, it stays there. Now, when I start the stopwatch, you're gonna see it start, I'm gonna stop it, and when it resets right to the position that I set it at. Cool, right? So something that I think is really unique. Let's see. Yeah, it was pretty funny when Adam Swords did a video on the Jordan a few weeks back, and he was doing a watch review of a bunch of new watches, and when he saw that second hand turn all the way back around up to the 12, he was like, ooh, he was so surprised by it, and I thought it was really funny. I chuckled. So, all right, so we've got the hands. They're also coated with a superluminova coating, so you are going to get a great night vision when you have this at night or in low light. Anything that you see white coated, the hour markings in the hands, those will glow at night. You get about 30 minutes with the superluminova. It's one of the best materials that you can use for glow in the dark, and we use several layers that are just a little bit deeper than what a lot of watches use. So like my Jackie in Seaplane Green still shines bright at night, and I've never had to really do anything different to make that enhanced or anything. So water resistance, 165 feet. I know, like I said, somebody had asked about boats. Is it okay on boats and in the water? Perfectly okay in the water. Now, with any watch, and this isn't just an Abingdon watch, but with any watch, please do make sure that you keep them away from steam. Steam has a tendency to get into places that water doesn't. So I would highly recommend, and this minimum water resistance on any of ours is 165 feet. So you're fine with swimming, you're fine with diving, you're fine with getting in the lake, getting in the ocean, all that kind of stuff is totally fine. If you go in salt water, do rinse it off afterwards, just like you would any of your gear. But just try not to take it in the shower. That's probably the one place I would say, yeah, you know, keep it in the bedroom. And that's just about that. But yeah, boats, totally okay, no problem. Let's see, what else do we have? You've got, so for the water resistance, you've got gaskets. And we have a gasket at the case back, and then we have a gasket at the crowns. Those are rubber gaskets, and whenever they come in for service and we do battery changes, batteries last about 2 to 3 years. We will, and it's a 377 battery, we will re-lube the gaskets if they're still in good condition, or we'll change out the gaskets and just maintain that water resistance for you. So I'm thinking, did I catch everything? Date, oh, and there's a date function. Did not mention that, but it does have a date function. I think we've pretty much covered everything, right? I feel like I've talked super fast on a whole bunch of stuff. But yes, so this is your Jackie. This is the original aviation watch that we came out with when I started the company, and I wanted a pilot's watch. And you can, okay, yeah, I'll just talk to the, we'll kind of wrap this up here, but yeah, this is by far like, it's kind of like my firstborn, and I don't have any kids, and for any of the parents, I know you love your kids all unconditionally and equally the same. I am positive of that. But for me, I don't have any kids. These are my kids. So the Jackie is kind of my firstborn and my first love. So yeah, the seaplane green Jackie has still, and it probably always will be until that watch just completely dies, but 15 years later, and it's still in really, really good shape. But this is the OG, this is the original. And so I was really, really happy to share just the changes that we've made, from the crystal to the band style to moving that flight computer crown, and just making it a better watch. And this is something that somebody commented on a YouTube channel, on one of our other YouTube episodes on our channel, why is it that military time always on a watch ends in 24? It should end in 00, 00, which makes perfect sense. If you are working in 24-hour clocks, you should be in 00. So when that's the only change that I see us making in the next Jackie, is we're going to change that military dial or the military sub-dial on the dial to 00 from 24. And I'm going to make that change, and I told them that I would do that in the comments. I commented on theirs. I said, that's brilliant. I can't believe I hadn't thought of that before, because of course, when I deal in military time, I always write 00. So we made the change on the Catherine, we made the change on the Elise, we made the change. We're going to be introducing a new tactical watch here soon, in less than a month, so definitely stay tuned for that. My point is, if you have a change, a suggestion, a recommendation, we keep all of them, and we listen, and we love getting design ideas from you guys. So if you have any suggestions that you want to make, by all means, put them in the comments, email us, call us, send it on our social media. We listen, we answer, and we'll possibly implement them, especially if we hear it enough times. That's how Elise was built, with the 3 time zones. Everybody wanted a 3 time zone watch, so that's what we did. So I hope you enjoyed this video on the Jackie. If you do have a Jackie, please put it in the comments below what your favorite feature is. Or if you don't and you like this video, tell me what you liked about the video in the comments below. And if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. It's in the bottom corner. And then by all means, join us on the next video. We've got tons of adventures coming up. We have a really, really special one that I cannot wait to show you, about a couple that came out and became crew members. And if you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, you'll kind of already know a little bit about that one. If you don't, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Join our newsletter list. We've got a whole bunch of little giveaways and things. And last but not least, the discount code. If you stuck through all the way through this video, then you'll want to use the code JackieYT, or Yankee Tango if you're a pilot. JackieYT for YouTube. Use that code for 20% off. It is good for 24 hours. And it saves you, I think, about $120 on the Jackie, which typically retails for about $5.95. So it'll drop that price. Use the code JackieYT today only. It's good until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then it expires. And we have it set up on auto expire, so you try it at 9:01, it's gonna be gone. So use that code. Thank you so much for joining. We will see you on the next video.